Hi everybody, welcome all of you to our channel IAPT Learners Hub. In this video I am going to discuss about object-oriented programs in C++. Now we go to OOPS, that is C++ classes and objects. C++ supports object-oriented programming. In the class, anything can be implemented with the help of objects. Define the class. What is a class in C++? Class is a user-defined data type which holds its own data members and member functions, which can be accessed and used by creating an instance of that class. Okay, we cannot use the class as it is. Directly we cannot use the class. Then how we can implement the class? First we have to create an object of the class to use its features. Okay, anything in the class we can implement with the help of object. Directly we cannot use the class. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ ക്ലാസ് ക്രിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്ത് അതിനകത്ത് ഡാറ്റ മെമ്പേഴ്സ് ഉണ്ടാവും, മെമ്പർ ഫംഗ്ഷൻ ഉണ്ടാവും. ദാറ്റ് ഡയറക്ട്ലി വി cannot use in the program. Then how we can use that data members and member functions in the program? We have to create the object of the class. A number of objects we can create. With the help of objects, we can implement the data members and members functions. How we have done in the structure in C++. Okay? Is it clear now? What is a class in C++? Class. A class is a user-defined data type which holds its own data members and member functions, but it can be accessed and used by creating an instance of that class. Okay, class is a blueprint for an object. It is a sketch of object. Okay, a class is used to specify the form of an object, and it combines data representation and methods for manipulating that data into one or package. Okay, the data and functions within a class are called members of the class. Class is a physical entity. Object is a logical entity. Class is a blueprint of the object. Object is a instance of class. I will explain one by one. Okay, I'll tell you the example for class and objects. Okay, consider the class of a teacher. Teacher is a class. Teacher has a different property and methods. Okay, then Manju is a teacher name. She is the object. So she has to follow the instructions of a teacher. Okay, class have attributes, methods and function. Teacher is a class. It has specialization, qualification. The teacher should have specialization, qualification, experience. These are the attributes. Teacher should teach, read, write and explain. These are the functions she has to follow. This is the sketch of blueprint of teacher. Okay, blueprint of teacher. That is, the teacher has these common functions of teacher is she should have this much attributes and this function and these attributes has to follow the teacher. Okay, then instance of a teacher is the Manju. Manju is an object of a class. Okay, Manju has to follow, execute these functions. Manju has to follow the specialization, should have specialization, qualification for teacher, qualification for experience. Then she has to execute these functions, teach, read, write and explanation. Okay, all these functions who has to execute instance of a class. That is, Manju is the object. Manju object is a instance of class. The name of the object is Manju. Class is a sketch of teacher. Who is executing these functions? Which teacher is executing this function? That is the instance of teacher. Name Manju is Gop Kumar, Mini, Tinu, Rini, any names we can give. Okay, I will tell you one more example. Suppose we are doing one plan for constructing the house. That is sketch of the house is the class. That is the sketch of outline of the house, building house, constructing house. Outline of the constructing house is the class. Then who is constructing the house and who is making the house? The constructing house is the object, instance of the class. That is the main. Where sketch is only outline. Where is the dining room? Where is the bedroom? Where is the kitchen? Where is the door, windows and where you have to keep? Everything is available in the sketch. With the help of sketch we can construct the house. That is object. What the idea? It is a blueprint of object is class. What is the idea? What is a class? What is object? The class we can define the data members and functions a lot of many functions we can define, many datas we can declare. Okay, that only outline or sketch of whole blueprint of object that executing that data types and data members and data function are executing. Whose duty is that? Object. Object will execute these functions or access, okay, and use these objects, these functions. That is object's duty. That is, once we can define the class, but we cannot use as it is. How we can implement the class? With the help of object. Without objects we cannot use the class members. What the idea? What is a class and what is an object? Okay. Defining a class in C++. How to write the class? How to write class in C++? The class is defined in C++ using the keyword class. Okay. Followed by the name of the class. It starts with the class function starts with the keyword class followed by name of the class. Then opening and we can write it between the curly braces, opening and closing bracket. In between that area we can write the body of the class. Okay, then class should terminated with the semicolon. That is the common rule for writing the class. Starts with the keyword class with the name of the class. Class teacher, okay, class house, class car, anything we can give. Then between the braces, the body of the class we can write, open and closing braces. Then class should be terminated with the semicolon. That is the syntax, common rule for writing the class. Okay, that is the example of class. How to create the class with the data members and functions. Here you have to find out the area and volume. Okay, room, class room, the area of the room and area volume of the room. Okay, then here three variables are there: length, breadth and height. Three variables we have to declare in public mode. Why? Because the outside the class, if you want to access these variables, we have to declare with the public mode. Okay, otherwise we cannot access. That I will explain later. What is an public, what is an private, what is an protected. Now you think, once if you declare with the public mode, the outside the class, any objects or anything anywhere we can access. Anywhere on the program we can access. Anywhere on the program we can access. Next is functions. Calculate area, calculate volume. Function starts with the data type and name, function name, calculate area, within brackets give the equation length into breadth, return. Okay, then calculate volume, return length into breadth into height. So that way we can declare the functions and data types, okay, in the class. This is the example of class. While writing the program, I will explain. We can implement these data names, variable names and functions in the program through the objects. The help of object we can implement in the program functions and that variables also. Okay, is it clear how to write the class? Next to C++ objects. Already I have explained many times these objects. When a class is defined, once a class is defined, only the specification for the object is defined. That is sketch for the object is defined. Okay, no memory or storage is allocated, only the sketch. But to use the data and access functions defined in the classes, we need to create an object. To access the data and functions defined in the class, we need to create objects. Is it clear now how to create the objects? What is the use of the object? Okay, then the common rule for creating the object of the class. Already we have created the class. Okay, the class name is room. Okay, then we have to create the object of room class. What is the common rule for writing the to define the object? Class name space give the object name. Class name, what is the class name? That we have already defined. Class name is room space give the object name, room 1, room 2, anything we can give, any names. We have to follow the rules for writing the identifier. Okay, first give the class name, give space, one space, give object name, then number of objects we can give by separating with commas, last terminated with a semicolon. Such a way we can create the objects of class, room, room 1, room 2. Okay, is it clear now how to create the class and how to create the objects? In the main program also we can create the objects. That is main function, class name, object room 3 comma room 4. Okay, here two objects we are created, room 1 and room 2 of the room class are created in sample function. Similarly, room 3 and 3 and 4 are created in the main function. Okay, in the function also we can create the objects. In the main program also we can create the objects. We can create object of a class in any function of the program. We can also create objects of a class within the class itself and or in other classes. Also we can create many objects as we want from a single class. Okay, anywhere we can create in the objects. In the main program we can create, in the function of the program we can create, we can create as many objects as we want from a single class. Okay, next chapter, how to access data members and member functions of a class. How we can access the data members, that means data variables and functions in a class. We can access data members and member functions of a class by using dot operator. We can access the data members and member functions of a class by using a dot operator. The dot operator is used to access class, structure or union members. How to access the structure members, class members, union members using the dot operator. Okay, dot operator is used to access class, structure or union members. Dot operator is used for direct member selection via the name of variables of type, class, structure and union. If you want to access any members of a class or structure or union, we need the dot operator to access the variables and functions. Is it clear? Now how to access the data members and member functions? Directly we cannot access the class members. You have to use the dot operator. First object name, then give the dot operator, then give the name of the function, or object name, dot operator, give the name of the variable. That's how we can access the data members and member functions of a class. Okay, I'll tell you one example. Before we have created one class, room. Object of the class room is room 2. Then how we can access the functions of the class? Object name is room 2. Room 2 dot. Give the dot operator. It is a dot operator. Then give the name of the function. Room 2 dot calculate area. This will call the calculate area function inside the room class for object room 2. Okay. Inside the we can call the function name calculate area in the class name room by using the object name room 2. That is room 2 dot calculate area. Hope you understood how to access the data members and member functions. We cannot use the class directly in the program. We have required the objects to access the data members and member functions of a class. Okay. There we have to use one dot operator to use the data members of the class and member functions of a class. First object name, give the dot operator, give the variable name or function name. If you want to call the function, give the function name terminated by semicolon. See here, similarly the data members can be accessed. The length is the data member, breadth is the data member. Then how we can access the data length and breadth of the class? First give the object of the class room 1, room 2, room 3, any name we can give. Give the dot operator, give the variable name. A variable name which we have given in the class, which we have defined in the class, give that a variable name. Then we can initialize with the value room 1 dot length is equal to 5.5. In this case, it initialize the length variable of room 1 to 5.5. Okay, that's why we can initialize the data members. See, here we can use one program with the class and object. How to write the class and how we can create the object. We can do one example here. The question is to find the area of the room and to find the volume of the room. Okay, area of the room is length into breadth. Volume of the room is length into breadth into height. Here two functions are there to calculate area and calculate volume. Then three variables are there: length, breadth and height. Okay, first we have to create one class. Class name is room. Give the variable name one by one: length, breadth, height, double. Okay, double is that type. Then we have declared like a public mode. Once we declared in a public mode, outside the class or in the program, anywhere on the function, we can use these variables. Okay, if it is private, there only we can use, but outside the class we cannot use it. Outside the class, if you want to use that members, to access the data members, we have to define with the public. Okay, then give the function name, double calculate area, give the equation length into breadth. Then calculate volume, give length into breadth into height. Here two functions we declared and defined. Three variables we declared here. Okay, now class is ready. We define the class with the data members and functions. Next we have to create the object of this class. The class mainly directly we cannot use the class in the program. Directly we cannot use the class in the program. We have to create the object of the class. Through the object of the class, we can implement in the program. Then next we will see how to create the object of the class. Listen here. This is the main program. Give the main function. Program starts here. Then give the object. Our class name is room. Give the object of the class. Room 1. Give the class name. Give one space. Then any name for object. Room 1 is the object here. Next is we have to assign the value for length, breadth and height. The class we only we declare. We are not initialize the value or assign the value. Through objects only we can initialize and assign the values. Give the length, breadth, height for value. Room 1 dot length is equal to this value. Room 1 dot breadth, room 1 dot height. Give the values. Okay. Now we initialize the length, breadth and height. Next one is calculate area and volume of the room. Call the function room1 dot calculate area. There what we have gone, room1 dot calculate area, return length into breadth. Okay. What is the length into breadth? That give the value of the length and breadth is multiplied, we will get the result. Next is volume of room. What is the equation of volume of room? Length into breadth into height. They fill with these values and find out the result. Okay. So we can use the objects in the program. Compile and execute the program. Then what output will get? Here, area of the room is this amount. This number, volume of the room is this amount. Okay. In this program we have used room class and its object is room1 to calculate the area and volume of the program. In the main program we assign the values of length, breadth and height. Okay. That's why we can implement class and objects in the program. See, by the help of objects we give the value for length and breadth and height. Okay. We initialize the value for length and breadth with the object name and dot operator. Then we called the functions calculate area and calculate volume. Why? To perform the necessary calculations. Got the idea how to write the programs to area of the room and volume of the room. First to create the class to declare the variables and define the functions. Then take the objects of the class. There you initialize the value, assign the value for length and breadth and height. Then call the functions to perform necessary calculation and we got the output also. Through practically you do that program. Then we have given one public in the program. before declaring the variables, we given the keyword public. Why? This means that the members are public, can be accessed anywhere on the program. Hope you cleared how to create the classes, objects, and how to create the programs using classes and objects. Okay, everything you have learned clearly. If you like this video, subscribe the channel, like and share, and press the bell button also to get the more notifications. Okay, thank you for watching.